Hello, hello, hello. Well, it's all about cake today. It's all about cake. I have made a few videos about how to draw yummy sweet treats like this cake, which is stacked up high from the smallest to the largest at the bottom here. I have drawn some cupcakes here, and they're pretty much all the same size, but we're creating an illusion of depth. So it looks like this one's bigger and this one's smaller, but in real life, the cupcakes are probably exactly the same size. Delish. And this beauty right here. Now, I'm going to have to use a pencil to show you how to draw this one because I'm going to need to erase. This one takes a few steps. So if you're ready, grab a piece of paper. I've got a piece of paper. You're going to want to grab a pencil. I'm going to grab a couple of them. All right, and let's get started. So when I look at this cake, the shape that comes to mind is a three-dimensional form called a cylinder. Cylinder is round on the top and round on the bottom and has curved sides. It doesn't have any straight angles or anything like that until you cut into a piece of cake like this. Yes, then you have some angles. So we're going to have to add some angles, but first, let's do the cake. The very first thing that I'm going to do to make this cake is to draw the top of the cake. So I'm going to start near the top of the page, and I'm going to make a really big oval. And it's sort of flat because I'm showing that we're looking at this cake at an angle. All right, then I'm going to take a straight line that goes through the middle. Now I'm not using a ruler or any kind of measurement tools for this. I'm just using my eyes to eyeball it. Yes, I use my eyeballs to draw things. I'm going to find the middle of this line, and I'm going to make another line that comes straight down the middle. Now, I'm not going to go all the way to the bottom of the page because as you can see here, there's going to be a cake plate and things like that. So I stop the line before it gets all the way to the bottom, but I'm going to make another straight line just like I did here. Let's see, let's make it about the same length, okay? Because I'm again going to make another oval around that line. So hopefully you can see that well. I tried to light the paper up really good. I have light all over my desk here so that you can see. Okay, so let's do a little bit of erasing because we don't want to get too distracted. So I'm going to erase this line and erase this line, but I'm going to leave the one in the middle. In fact, I need to add a line down from the left side to create this edge of the cake, this side right here, and then I'll do the same thing, and I'm going from the very most outer edge of that oval all the way down to the outer most edge of this one. Oops, maybe I should have made it bigger. I can adjust because I have a pencil. I can erase. Normally I draw with marker, which is easier to see on camera, but today I'm using a pencil because I'm going to have to erase some of my guidelines. All right, so this cake has been sliced open. A big chunk is missing. You can see the flavors inside. I'm imagining this is like a strawberry and vanilla and chocolate. Oh my gosh. So I'm going to start from the top of this line, and I'm going to draw a line that leans to the left, out to the outer edge here, and do the same thing on the other side. It leans out. All right, time to do some more erasing. Now I'm going to erase just this portion of the line that is right here, and just this portion of the line that is right about here. I'm going to erase that. So now it looks like, okay, yeah, we've cut into this cake. Now I need to take my pencil and add a line that comes all the way down to the outer edge of the cake. So I'm going to come straight down the best I can. I'm not using a ruler on purpose. I don't want to use a ruler for this. And then do the same thing, start over here where this line came and touched that outer edge of the oval and come straight down. All right. So some of these guidelines here are going to have to go. This one, yes, we're not going to be able to see that back part. Yeah, no, we're not going to be able to see it. All right, some of this got erased. I'm going to replace that line, put it back. All right, okay, yeah, okay, I think you can see that pretty good on camera. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to do the same thing I did at the top of this line when I made the leaning line come down to the outer edge. And for some reason my cake doesn't look very curved. I think I need to fix this curve and make it a little bit more curved before I go further. Sometimes you just have to make adjustments. Sometimes you do. Okay, so I bring that down. Okay, that's better. Now, take this and make a line that leans down all the way right there where those two lines intersect, and do the same thing here. Bam. So now I have my cake with a big chunk missing. I can't imagine that there's ever been a cake this tall, but because you're an artist, you can draw it how you want it to look. Just use your imagination. So there is a layer of icing over this cake, and so I'm going to make another line right there that comes, and another line right there that comes down. There is a thick layer of icing. So I'm going to do a layer of icing here. Comes all the way down. Delicious. Yummy. All right, so I'm trying not to erase too much because I'm going to come back and color anyway. Now, there are layers in this cake. Now, your cake can have as many layers as you want. I like to go with 3. 3 is always a happy number for me. So I'm going to come down a ways, and I'm going to use this same angle to make a line here, and then make one right here. But this is where the icing is, in between these layers. So because there's icing, I need to make an additional line there. So it looks like there's icing there, like you see here with the yellow, and then right here as well. And then do the other angle that leans down the opposite direction for more icing. Now I've done this a couple of times, so it might look easy for me, and if it's not so easy for you, it's okay, because we have to try things many times before we get them right. Sometimes we can get things right on the first try, and sometimes we have to keep trying, and that's a part of life, that's a part of learning. All right, you see me, I'm erasing. Something about erasers just make you want to make things super perfect, and try not to do too much erasing. But so there's the cake. All right, wait, we need to add the cake plate underneath. So I'm going to start up a ways. So right about here and right about there, because I want my cake to look like it's sitting right in the middle of the cake plate. I'm going to come out with a curved line and curve around and come back up to the other side. There. And then the bottom of the cake plate, and I'm almost going to run out of room. I made this cake much bigger than the first one. I'm going to make a straight line that comes down, because this cake plate is almost like a cylinder, but it's very flat. I make a straight line down, and then I copy that curve that went around underneath the first time. Whew, I barely made it just to the edge of the page. There. And then, of course, this cake is sitting on a table, so I'm going to add a line that suggests this cake is sitting on a table like that, just like that. All right. Now the fun part is you get to decide what the layers will look like inside, what flavors, what colors you'll decorate your cake with, and things like that. So that was fun. I hope that was easy enough. And if it wasn't, you can always play the video for a second, third time, or you can pause as you go along. That was fantastic. This cake right here, I added a shadow coming in, the light's coming in from the left, so the shadow is here. I used blue to create the shadow. There's even blue on this side of the cake just to make it a little bit darker. I know blue and yellow make green, but for some reason it doesn't look so bad when it's a shadow. I added a shadow here because the light is coming this way, so it's darker there, and there's light being able to hit this side. So I tried to give it more volume and create that illusion of volume by the way that I colored it. You can do the same thing too. Your light can be coming from the right, the left. It really doesn't matter. But when you add shadows, it makes your three-dimensional shapes look like they have better volume. And you can see that even with the cupcakes because they're darker on this side and there's a shadow, and it just makes your objects look more believable, more three-dimensional, and things like that. Even with this guy right here, just by adding some darker colors, even when I colored these layers here, it was darker on these sides and lighter in the middle. That's how I wanted to help create that look of volume and form and shape just by how I colored it. I mean, just by using crayons. So I hope that was fun. Cake is fun. Cake is yummy. Cake is the best. I love sweets. It's a problem. But this right here, no calories. So enjoy and come back and see me again.